Did you cry?
I always cry at weddings.
Well, I bet the mother of the groom outdid you this time.
Well, this time she did outdo me because she pretended to faint right as soon as the ceremony was over. And then she insisted that Father bring her home to make sure that he missed Mona's little reception.
You know what I can't really understand is how a woman like your mother ever had a daughter like you.
Oh, how can we be talking about things like this when there are other things on our minds?
You know me, no matter what else I may be thinking of, a little part of my mind is always on you. You know, I sometimes think it would have been better if you and I had never met at all. Been such a bad penny in your life.
Come on, that's not true. I was very happy married to you toward the end.
Well, even if I hadn't walked out when I did, I don't think our marriage could have lasted much longer.
You really think that?
Well, your mother had it pegged. Much as I hate to hear her say it, she was right. You and I are from completely different worlds. Not even the same class.
Why are you putting yourself down like that?
Statement of fact. Like a little boy who looks up at the moon and yearns for it because it's unattainable, unreachable. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I love you so much. And I do love you, Anne. So much that if I can't have you, I want you to be happy.
That means a lot to me.
But what I'm trying to say is that if you still love Paul, and I think you do, then that's what I want for you.
Nicholas.
And I don't think you should sit back and wait for it to happen. I think you should fight for it.
Now, listen, regardless of what Margot thinks, I am not a husband snatcher.
Margot, Paul doesn't love Margot. He never did. He married her on a rebound from you.
Well, even if that were true, I'm not saying it is. They're married, Nick.
I know. A marriage is not based on love. What's it worth? Now, face it, Anne, that marriage can't last very much longer. It was a mistake from the very beginning. And it's up to you to rectify that mistake.
They got Dr. Forgy from University Hospital. Now, he's a specialist in open-heart surgery, and according to Joe, he's one of the very best in the field.
Well, is Charlie Tyler there with her?
Yes, he was called immediately, and I'm sure he'll do some assisting, but Dr. Forgy himself will do the actual surgery, of course.
Stranger. Complete stranger with our Mary's life in his hands.
Now, Mother...
I know. Sorry. Forgive me, I'm just not myself.
Oh, look, it's all right, I understand.
If somebody would just call, if we'd just hear something.
They will, just as soon as they get any news.
Huh?
Now, look, I think the best thing for you to do is to go into that kitchen and fix us both a good, strong pot of tea.
Yeah, you're right. That's just what we need, some tea. You better...
Yeah, hello. Joe, is there any news? Well, have you spoken with Dr. Forgy yet? I see. Yes. Well, now, Joe, do you think... Yes. Yes, of course. Yes, I'll tell her. Right. And thanks for calling. Right. Well, they're through with the operation, and she's in the recovery room.
Well, how is she?
Well, they were able to remove the bullet, but her condition is still very critical.
Well, but what did Joe say?
Well,
Is she going to
they
be all
don't
right?
know anything right now, and they won't know for some time. I mean, that's all he could say, and I've told you everything that I know.
Well, I just cannot stand this one more minute. Paula, I want you to take me to the hospital, and right now. Come on.
I was just waiting for you to ask.
You know, I've got to get to the hospital. I really have to find out what's happening.
Well, there's a phone in my office we can call.
You never get any information on the phone, and I don't want to disturb Joe and Ruth. I'd rather go myself.
Can I drive you?
I've got my car.
Well, I'm glad you stopped by. It meant more to me than I can tell you.
And too. Thank you.
Wait a minute. I just want to look at you. I get the feeling that you and I won't ever be able to sit and talk like this again.
Nick. What do you feel like tonight?
What do I feel like tonight? That song hasn't been written yet, pal.
All My Children will continue in a moment.
Oh, thanks. I'll tell you, I've got a pretty soft job sitting here having a beer with the boss. And by the way, where's Ann? Did she go home?
No, she went over to the hospital. Well, this thing has upset her very badly. She's very shook up about it.
Well, Tara was upset, too. She and Mary have always been so close.
You know, you go along from day to day, worrying about piddling little things, and getting so frustrated because everything isn't working out the way you think it should. And boy, do you think you have problems. And then something like this happens. It kind of brings you up short, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, when I was driving home from Tara's, I got to thinking about a poem that I learned in high school. Our English teacher made us learn it. Something about how a man is captain of his fate, the master of his soul. It's not true, though, is it? No matter how hard we try to plan a course for our lives, the fact is, none of us really know what tomorrow will bring.
Yeah. It's like that other little bromide we hear so often. If you really want something badly enough. Now, my life has proved to me that that's a lot more fiction than fact. Matter of fact, you and Tara proved it, too. So it seems like a million years ago now. Being at wanting things, you remember? I had such big dreams and plans for you and Tara. Remember I used to say how she was the only girl for you, you were meant for each other, and you're the only guy she would marry. You remember my saying all that?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, back in those days, Tara believed it, too. Used to talk to me about it, how the two of you would be married. She could be a grandson.
I wish.
That's what I wanted for you.
But even though it's locked away in the past, I'll always carry it with me, always. I mean that, Tara. I mean that with all my heart.
I know, Phillip. We're both very, very lucky.
What though the radiance that was once so bright be now forever taken from our sight? Though nothing can bring back the hour of splendor in the grass, of glory in the flower, We will grieve not, but rather find strength in what remains behind. In the primal sympathy, which having been must ever be.
In
Soothing thoughts spring out of human suffering.
in the faith
That looks through death.
in years
That bring the philosophic mind.
I can picture myself going over to your place on a Sunday for dinner with you guys and with my grandson. Oh, yeah, I had it all figured out. I had a lot of things figured out. Only things don't always work out the way we want them to, do they?
No. No, they don't. Hey, Nick. Some of the customers have been bugging me. They want to know when you're going to sing.
Oh, Jimmy, no, not tonight. I'm just not in the mood for that. Buy him a drink on the house and play him a song. Will you tell them I took the night off?
I don't think they'll settle for that. They've even written a request. They're pretty insistent.
That's what they want me to sing?
That's right.
Oh, perfect.
Come on, Nick. Come on, sing. You know what you always told me. Keep the customers happy. Come on. Sing.
All right, might as well. Go ahead. Only no big patter or anything this time. Just an arpeggio will go right in with it. Goodbye. No use leading with our chain. This is where our story ends. Never lovers, ever friends. Goodbye. Sincerely want to say I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your heart the song to sing and a kiss, but more than this, I wish you love. And in July, a lemonade to cool you in some leafy glade. I wish you health and more than wealth. I wish you love, my breaking heart, and I dream that you and I can never be. So with my best, my very best, I set you free. From the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. My aching heart and
told?
Yes, he knows. It's just so sad that she lost that baby. The important thing is that what happens to Mary, that she got through that surgery all right. Except they don't know if there's any other internal injury. They wanted to do exploratory surgery while she was still on the table. But her blood pressure started dropping so fast, they just didn't dare.
Her blood pressure, that doesn't sound good, does it?
And that's something that Jeff does not know. As Joe said, why tell him yet when he's been through so much already? Kate?
Oh, so good. I found you. Hello, Andrew. I couldn't stay home another minute. I had to come.
I'm glad you did, darling. Come on, sit down.
Now, I want to hear about Mary. Tell me everything. Has there been any change?
No, she's still in the recovery room.
But the operation is over. It went all right?
Yes, it went very well. Her surgeon is one of the best in the country, and Joe said he did a remarkable job.
How long will she be in the recovery room?
Well, I don't know exactly. That depends.
What about Jeff? Is he with us?
No, dear, she has to be very, very quiet.
Ruth, how is he taking it?
We'll return to our story in a moment.